My name's Ethan Carter. I'm 34 years old, and until a few months ago, I thought I was living the kind of life other men envied. A good job, a modern house in the city, and a beautiful wife who seemed to adore me. Her name is Mila. To everyone else, she was radiant, an influencer, always posting photos of perfect breakfasts, beach trips, and smiles that never seemed to fade. To me, she was home. Or so I thought. When I met Mila 5 years ago, she was just starting to build her online brand. I was working long hours as an interior designer, but she brought color into my gray, routine-filled world. She was confident, ambitious, magnetic. She could walk into any room and somehow make it feel warmer, or maybe brighter, like the light was following her. For the first few years, everything was perfect. We supported each other. She'd ask my opinion on her photo shoots, and I'd help her pick locations for her brand deals. I didn't mind that she made more money than I did. Honestly, I was proud. But with success came distance. Mila began traveling more. First weekend trips, then collaborations that kept her away for a week or longer. I told myself it was normal. I told myself I trusted her. But trust doesn't vanish overnight. It erodes slowly, like water against stone. The first crack appeared one Thursday afternoon. Mila had left for what she called a content retreat in another city. I was working from home when a delivery man showed up with a small package addressed to her. Normally, I wouldn't have opened it, but the label said urgent replacement part. I thought it might be something for her camera gear, so I opened it to keep it safe. Inside was a charger, not a normal one, but a magnetic dual charger, the kind that charges 2 phones at once. Strange, because as far as I knew, she only had 1 phone. I brushed it off at first, but that night, as I sat alone eating reheated pasta, my mind wouldn't stop spinning. 2 phones. The next morning, I called her. "Hey, babe," she said, her voice light and breezy, background noise suggesting a cafe. "How's the retreat?" "Good. Long day ahead. Lots of shoots." "I see you tired." "Barely slept," she laughed. "These trips are exhausting, trust me." But something in her tone made me pause. It wasn't what she said. It was the delay. The way she hesitated for a fraction of a second before answering anything personal. When we hung up, I sat in silence, staring at the reflection in the dark screen of my laptop. Maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe not. That weekend, my best friend Jason came over for a beer. "Man, you look like hell," he said, dropping onto the couch. "I've been sleeping weird," I muttered. He gave me a knowing look. "You think Mila's seeing someone?" I didn't answer right away. "No, I don't know. Something feels off." Jason was the kind of guy who never minced words. You either trust her or you don't, Ethan. If you do, drop it. If you don't, get proof. That night, I lay awake thinking about those words. Proof. 2 days later, something happened in our neighborhood. 3 break-ins in a week. Most people were installing small security systems. It gave me the perfect excuse to do the same, without looking suspicious. I ordered a set of tiny security cameras, motion-activated, Wi-Fi connected, and discreet enough to hide anywhere. When they arrived, I installed them while Mila was still away. 1 in the living room, 1 near the entrance, and 1 facing the hallway outside our bedroom. It felt wrong, invasive even, but the thought of living in uncertainty felt worse. Mila returned 2 days later, glowing as always. "The retreat was amazing," she said, wrapping her arms around me. Her smell smelled like perfume I didn't recognize. I asked how everything went, and she talked for 20 minutes straight. Photo shoots, brand meetings, dinners with colleagues. Her eyes sparkled as she spoke. I wanted to believe every word, but I didn't anymore. That night, as she slept beside me, I stared at the ceiling and wondered if I was slowly losing my mind or just waking up to the truth. Weeks passed. Things went back to normal, at least on the surface. Mila smiled, laughed, and posted our date nights online, but her phone was always locked, always face down, always on silent. One evening, she announced another trip, this time to a coastal town 3 hours away. "It's just 3 days," she said, "for a new brand collaboration." I smiled and said, "Of course, be safe." The moment she left, I checked the cameras. All clear. Empty house. The first day went by uneventfully, but on the second night, my phone buzzed with a motion alert. Camera 2, living room, motion detected. I opened the app. The feed loaded, and my stomach turned to ice. There she was, Mila, in our house, wearing a hoodie I'd never seen before. She wasn't alone. A man followed her in. He was tall, well-built, probably mid-30s. They laughed quietly as they entered. She set her purse down, then kissed him. I froze. I didn't even breathe. She wasn't away on a trip. She was here, with him. The feed flickered for a moment, then stabilized. They moved to the couch, talking, laughing, oblivious to the tiny lens capturing everything. They stayed for hours. Around midnight, the camera went still again. I couldn't sleep. My chest felt tight, like the air itself had turned to concrete. The next morning, she texted me. "Good morning, love. Shooting went late last night. Exhausted." I stared at the message, bile rising in my throat. For a moment, I typed out a reply. "I know." But then I deleted it. No, not yet. She thought she was clever, erasing her tracks, hiding behind fake schedules and perfect photos. But she didn't know I had the truth now. And truth is a dangerous thing in the wrong hands. I didn't confront her immediately. I needed time to plan, to think, to make sure I didn't act out of rage. For 3 days, I replayed the footage, noticing details. The man's car, a gray SUV with a dented bumper. The key he used, clearly one of ours. She had given it to him. Then something clicked. She had used her influencer account to tag business partners in fake locations during the same nights she was home. Her entire brand, her image, her marriage, all built on lies. I realized I didn't just want to expose her. I wanted her to feel what I had felt, betrayal, confusion, shame, but in her own language, public image. The plan began to form in my head. It wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about truth. I created a new folder labeled Mila's Reality and stored all the footage there. But I didn't share it. Not yet. Instead, I began preparing something she wouldn't see coming. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't shouting the truth. It's showing it in the quietest way possible. And she would never see me coming. For the next week, I acted as if everything was normal. I kissed Mila goodbye every morning, listened to her talk about brand meetings, and even helped her pick an outfit for a dinner she claimed was with sponsors. I smiled, I nodded, but inside, every smile was a calculated move. I had all the footage backed up, encrypted, and stored on a cloud drive under a hidden alias. I didn't rush. I waited, watched, and gathered small details, times, faces, even her online posts that aligned with the lies. Then one afternoon, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed. The name on the screen tightened my chest. Chris, dinner tonight. Chris, the same man from the footage. I didn't open the message. I didn't need to. His name alone was confirmation. I took a quiet photo of the screen, time-stamped it, and put the phone back before she stepped out of the bathroom. She smiled at me through the mirror. "You okay, babe?" "Yeah," I said softly, "just thinking." If only she knew what I was thinking. That evening, she left again, dinner with clients. I watched from the window as a familiar gray SUV pulled up. She got in wearing a dress she hadn't worn for me in months. I didn't follow, not yet. Instead, I turned on my laptop and began editing. Not the kind of editing she was used to, the one that polished smiles and brightened colors. This was different. I took the footage from the cameras, blurred faces, and adjusted the timestamps. I edited it into a short, silent sequence, artistic, emotional, and subtle. No direct accusations, just a story. A story of a woman who lived two lives, one online, one in secret. Then I added music, soft piano, haunting and sad.
The final shot? A caption that read, "Behind every perfect photo, there's a truth you don't see." It was poetic, honest, and devastatingly effective. Over the next few days, I watched her carefully. She was cheerful, glowing, unaware that her entire web of lies was one click away from collapsing. I waited for the right moment. That moment came during her biggest collaboration of the year, an online event where she would go live to thousands of followers, talking about authenticity and trust. It was almost too perfect. The night before her live stream, I couldn't sleep. I lay there staring at the ceiling, listening to her soft breathing beside me. For a fleeting moment, guilt crept in. Maybe I was going too far. Maybe I should just walk away. But then I remembered the footage, the laughter, the betrayal, the lies whispered in our home. No, she had built this on deceit. She would learn what truth feels like. The next day, she set up her lights and camera in the living room. I stayed in my office, pretending to work. Her voice echoed down the hallway. "Hey everyone, I'm so excited to talk about living your truth and embracing honesty." The irony nearly made me laugh. At that exact moment, I uploaded my video. Title: The Reality Behind Perfection. Account: anonymous. No trace to me. It took about 10 minutes before the comments began flooding in. "Wait, isn't this Mila? That's her house. Oh my God, is this real?" The video went viral within hours. Her name trended on Twitter by evening. I didn't have to say a word. The truth spoke for itself. When she found out, it was chaos. She stormed into my office, eyes red, hands shaking. "Ethan, what the hell did you do?" I looked up calmly. "What do you mean?" "Don't play dumb. That video, it's everywhere. Someone's exposing me." I leaned back in my chair and said, "Maybe it's just karma." Her lips parted, and for the first time I saw it, the raw fear in her eyes. Not sadness, not guilt, fear of losing everything. She sank onto the couch, hands trembling. "Ethan, please, we can fix this. I made a mistake. I didn't mean to hurt you." I stared at her for a long time. "You didn't just hurt me, Mila. You built a life on lies, and now the truth just catching up." She reached out, but I stood before she could touch me. "I don't hate you," I said softly. I just don't believe in you anymore. Then I walked out. I stayed with Jason that night. He didn't ask questions, he just handed me a beer and turned on the TV. After a few minutes, he glanced at me. "You look lighter," he said. I smiled faintly. "I think I am." Because for the first time in months, maybe years, I felt free.
Days passed. Mila's world unraveled online. Brands dropped her, followers vanished, and sympathy turned into judgment. She tried to rebuild, posting apologies and healing journey stories, but the internet doesn't forgive easily. As for me, I didn't celebrate. I didn't post anything. I just moved on. I closed our joint accounts, sold the house, and rented a small apartment near the river. It wasn't fancy, but it was peaceful, quiet, honest. One evening, months later, I got an email from her. Subject: I'm sorry. The message was long, emotional. She said she'd lost everything, but had started therapy. That she realized she'd built her self-worth on attention instead of love. She said she hoped someday I could forgive her. I read it twice, then replied simply, "I already did. Take care of yourself." And that was it. No revenge, no closure scene. Just peace. Life went on. I started my own design studio, took fewer clients, spent more time outdoors. I even started photography again, something I'd abandoned during our marriage. Funny how betrayal can destroy you and set you free at the same time. One afternoon, as I was taking pictures of the sunset, Jason joined me. "You ever regret it?" he asked. "What, exposing her?" "No, loving her." I thought for a long time before answering. "No," I said finally, "because if I hadn't, I'd never have learned what kind of man I could be." He nodded. "Guess pain teaches better than peace." I smiled. "Yeah, but peace feels better." Months later, that same viral video resurfaced on a documentary channel about social media deception. They called it "The Cost of a Perfect Life." Millions watched it, not knowing it was mine. I didn't need credit. I didn't want fame. I just wanted to know that truth, in its quiet way, had done its job. Mila eventually disappeared from the internet. I heard she moved to another city, started working privately, away from cameras and filters. Maybe that was her real punishment, living without the attention she once craved. Or maybe it was her second chance. As for me, I no longer feared love or trust. I just learned to give them carefully, to people who valued truth more than appearance. Sometimes, when I scroll through my old photos, I see one of her, smiling, bright, alive, and I don't feel anger anymore, just a distant ache and a quiet reminder. Even the most beautiful lies can't survive the light.